Hello students, good morning. We are discussing about air pollution analysis unit number 1 and right now we are discussing on effects of air pollutants or effect of air pollution on human and materials. In my earlier session, we have discussed about classification of air pollutants in detail. So right now we are discussing about effect of air pollution on man and material. So we have many air pollutants. We have studied about many air pollutants in earlier session. So there are major air pollutants. You can see major air pollutants. There are mainly 6 major air pollutants are as below. Particulate matter. First one is particulate matter. Second one is carbon monoxide. Third one is oxides of sulphur. Fourth one is oxides of nitrogen. Number 5 ground level ozone. And number 6 hydrocarbons. So these all are main or major air pollutants. You can say common air pollutants. So we are going to discuss in detail. First of all, we will start with number 1 particulate matter. Particulate matter. Particulate matter represents a complex mixture of organic and inorganic substances. Means it is a mixture of organic and inorganic substances. It's not a single component. Mass and composition tend to divide into two principal groups. We can divide it into or classify into two groups. Coarse particles and another type is fine particles. Coarse particles means large particles and fine particles means smaller particles. So it is according to its size. Coarse particles or large particles are larger than 2.5 micrometer and fine particles or smaller particles are smaller than 2.5 micrometer. So it is according to the size of particles, or we can classify it according to its size. So there are mainly two types of particulate matter, or you can say particulate matters. Smaller particles contains mainly the secondarily formed aerosols, combustion particles and organic and metal vapors. Organic substance and metal recomposed organic matters or organics and metal vapors. So it contains mainly aerosols and another particles, and large particles usually contains earth's crust and fugitive dust from roads and industries. So this is the example of small and large particles. Now we are going to discuss about its effect on human. Particulate matter effect on human. So our first point is lung damage. The pollutant of size less than 1 micrometer causes lung damage. And asbestos fiber cause cancer. Lead affects brain. How lead from automobile industries, or you can say automobile exhaust, affects brain. Causes several respiratory diseases. It causes several respiratory diseases. Its effect on respiratory tract. And last point, some particles cause cancer. Some particles like silica, arsenic, dust causes cancer. So this is the effect of particulate matter on human. Now we will discuss about effect on material. First point is damage to building. The particulate matter causes damage to buildings. Second point is corrosion enhanced. The corrosion is enhanced by effect of particular matter on metals. Its cause is cracks and fading of pointed sources. Pointed sources gets crack and fading time by time because of the effect of particulate matter. Reduces fertility of soil. How? Particulates accumulate on the soil surface and reduces its fertility. Particulates accumulate on the soil and reduces fertility of it. So this is how we can see the effect on materials. Building, corrosive effect, cracking and fading of pointed surfaces, and reduces fertility of soil. These all are the effects on material by particulate matter. Now we will discuss about our second pollutant, carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. It is a colorless, odorless gas, a product of incomplete combustion of carbon containing materials such as in automobiles, industrial process, heating facilities, and incinerators. So this is how the physical properties and resulting product carbon monoxide because of above industrial or another processes, automobile exhaustions, carbon monoxide can produce. Now we will discuss effect on humans. Carbon monoxide effect on humans. The high concentration of carbon monoxide can cause death. Second point is reducing oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Then how it reduces oxygen carrying capacity of blood? Then the carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin, leads to the formation of carboxyhemoglobin, reduces the oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Means the combination of carbon monoxide and hemoglobin leads to the formation of carboxyhemoglobin, COHB. In short, we can say COHB. Reduces the oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Means carbon monoxide reacts with hemoglobin and changes its property and function. Then our third point is at 100 ppm of dizziness and headache in people means at concentration of 100 ppm people experience dizziness and headache. When its concentration come to 100 ppm in environment or atmosphere, then people feel or experience dizziness and headache. At 400 to 450 ppm, increase in COHB in blood means the cigarette smoke contains 400 to 450 ppm CO is carbon monoxide. The percentage of COHB in blood of cigarette smoker increases with increase in smoking. With increase in smoking, increasing the quantity of COHB in blood, and this it is around 400 to 450 ppm of carbon monoxide. And last one is at 700 ppm cause death. At concentration of 750 ppm carbon monoxide, it will cause death. So this is how we can see the effect on, or we have discussed effects on human by carbon monoxide. Now we'll discuss about effect on materials. Carbon monoxide appears to have no detrimental effects on materials. So particularly in case of carbon monoxide, we cannot observe any effect, or we cannot identify the effect on materials. So now we will discuss about our third pollutant, oxides of sulphur, or main form is sulphur dioxide, and we will discuss about different forms of oxides of sulphur. Means pollutant effect on man and material. Third type common pollutant is oxides of sulphur. Means this is the group of oxides of sulphur. We will discuss about different forms of oxides of sulphurs. So first of all we will start with several forms in which sulphur exists includes H2S, H2SO4 and sulphate salts. So it is one of the several forms in which sulphur exists, and the other exist in air. Other includes H2S, H2SO4 and sulphate salts. Sulphur dioxide, second point, sulphur dioxide results from the combustion of sulphur containing fossil fuel and when coal and fuel oil are burned. Means sulphur dioxide produces by combustion of fuels, mainly fossil fuels. Third point, domestic fires produce emissions containing SO2. Means domestic fires can also produce emission containing sulphur dioxide. And last point is reaction of sulphur trioxide with water results in aerosol. Means acid aerosol. Sulfuric acid is a strong acid that is formed from the reaction of sulphur trioxide with water. SO3 with water results in H2SO4 sulfuric acid, strong acid. So this is how the different forms of oxides of sulfurs, H2S, H2SO4, SO2 produces during many processes. Now we will see the effect of oxides of sulfur on human health. Our first point is causes irritation of eyes and respiratory tracts. So different forms of sulfur oxides affect or causes irritation of eyes and respiratory tracts. Second point, lung cancer. So in this point, increase in SO2 concentration means the sulfur dioxide concentration in the atmosphere may lead to lung cancer. Sulfur dioxide may also obstruct breathing process. And last point is formation of H2SO4. Then SO2 sulfur dioxide leads to the formation of H2SO4, as we have seen in an earlier process that it is a combination of sulfur dioxide and water, means resulting product means reaction of sulfur dioxide with water resulting in sulfuric acid. First of all, sulfur dioxide converts in sulfur dioxide and then it reacts with water and then it forms H2SO4, which is 20 times more irritant than SO2. So we can also understand the hazardous effect of H2SO4 on human health. Now we will discuss about effects on materials by sulfur dioxide or another forms of oxides of sulfur. First point is H2SO4 effects on building materials and discolor surface. How? So we discuss it in detail. The sulfuric acid will attack building materials containing carbonates, and this will form calcium sulphate CaSO4, and the CaSO4 gets easily washed away, leaving discolored surface. So this is how we can say H2SO4 effects on building material and discolor the surface. Second point, cause paper to become brittle. How? Paper absorbs sulfur dioxide and it causes the paper become too brittle. And last point, leather loses strength and flexibility. So with reaction of different oxides of sulfur, leather loses its strength and flexibility, means get expired. We can say it's a expiry when it loses its strength and flexibility. So we cannot use it on its proper application. So these all are the effects on materials. So we have discussed about oxides of sulfur and its effects on human and materials or man and material. So next pollutant, or this is also the group of pollutants, oxides of nitrogen. Number 4, oxides of nitrogen. So first of all, we'll discuss about its physical properties. So first point, it reddish brown gas present in car exhaust and power plants. So oxide of nitrogen, mainly reddish brown gases present in car exhaust and power plants. Nitrogen oxide, combustion produce nitrogen oxide. Nitric oxide, or you can say nitrogen oxide also. Nitric oxide is produced by combustion of fuels and car exhaust and power plants. Third point is reaction of NO and sunlight produces NO2. So this is how NO2 produces. We will discuss it in detail. Nitrogen dioxide, which has greater health effects, is a secondary pollutant created by the oxidation of nitric oxide under condition of sunlight, or may be formed directly by higher temperature. Means nitrogen dioxide is produced during the reaction of nitric oxide with sunlight, or directly at high temperature. Nitrogen oxide or nitric oxide forms nitrogen dioxide, and it has greater health effects than nitric oxide. So now we'll discuss about effect on humans. Oxides of nitrogen. So how oxides of nitrogen affects on human and material. So effect on, first of all we'll discuss about effect on human. Nitric oxide reduce oxygen carrying capacity of blood. First point. Now second point, irritation of lungs. Nitrogen dioxide causes irritation of lungs and damages lungs. Third point, very dangerous different forms of nitrogen oxides. How? High level of oxides of nitrogen are extremely dangerous for human health. Its effects on nitrogen oxides or oxides of nitrogen causes effects of irritation of respiratory system, nervous system and digestive tracts, and high level of oxides of nitrogens, or we can say different forms of nitric oxides or NOx causes pneumonia, lung cancer and oxygen deficiency in human. So these all are the effect on human of oxides of nitrogen. Now I'll discuss about effect on materials. First is corrosion by nitric acid. Nitric acid causes corrosion to metal surfaces. Nitrogen dioxide fades the color of clothes. Means we can see decoloration of clothes by the effect of nitrogen dioxide on and different forms of oxides of nitrogen. Nitrogen dioxide cause cracking of rubber. So this is how the oxides of nitrogen effects on materials. So we have discussed it in detail, and in our next slide we will discuss the common effects of pollutants on man and material, but these all are the specific effects of pollutants. First we have discussed about particulate matter, then carbon monoxide, then oxides of sulphur, then oxides of nitrogen, and the next one is number 5, ground level ozone. First point, forms when nitrogen oxide and volatile organic compound react with sunlight. So how ground level ozone forms? This is formed when pollutants such as nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compound reacts with direct sunlight. Ground level ozone produces. Next point, composed of 3 oxygen. So ozone, we can say ozone is a gas composed of 3 atoms of oxygen, and we can write it as O3. Ozone can be good or bad. Ozone can be good or bad depending on where it is found. Ozone mainly found in stratospheric ozone. We can found in stratosphere and at ground level. Ozone which we can found in stratosphere is called stratospheric ozone, and ozone which we found on the ground is called ground level ozone. So first we discuss about stratospheric ozone. Stratospheric ozone is good because it protects living things from ultraviolet radiations from the sun, where ground level ozone is bad because it can trigger a variety of health problems for humans. So this is how ozone can be good or bad. Now we will discuss about effect on human. So ground level ozone effect on human. First point, breathing of air containing ozone cause asthma. So breathing air containing ozone include people with asthma, cause breathing air containing ozone cause asthma. People like children, older adults, and people who are active outdoors. Mainly effects on that all. Mainly effects on children, older adults, and people who are mainly active outdoors. The next point, reduces intake of nutrients. So ozone effects on humans and reduces intake of nutrients. How? It reduces intake of certain nutrients such as vitamin C and vitamin E. The next point, chest pain, coughing, throat irritation, airway inflammation. Ozone can trigger a variety of health problems including chest pain, coughing, throat irritation, airway inflammation. This is how ozone can trigger many problems or health issues. Next point is reduce function of lungs. So ozone will react with oxygen in our body, and it can reduce function of lungs and harms lung tissues. So this is how its effects on lungs and damages it. So we have discussed about effect on men. Now we will discuss about effect on materials. Damage materials. Ozone can cause damage to variety of materials such as rubber, plastics, fabrics, paints and metals. Ozone reacts with this all matter and causes damage to it. Our next point, shorten lifespan of materials. Exposure to ozone damages the functional qualities of materials and products and shorten their lifespan. Means material exposure to ozone damages the functional qualities of it and products and shorten their lifespan. So this is how we can see the effect of ozone or ground level ozone on men and materials. Now we will discuss the our last point is number 6, hydrocarbon. Then we will discuss the effect of general air pollutants effect on men and material. So our last pollutant, number 6, hydrocarbons, consist of carbon and hydrogen. So hydrocarbon is an organic compound containing only carbon and hydrogen are classified as hydrocarbons. They are mainly of two types, aliphatic and aromatic hydrocarbons. Third point, presence in atmosphere. Hydrocarbon present in the atmosphere from both natural and man-made sources. Fourth point, source burning of gasoline and industrial processes. These are the sources of hydrocarbons. We can say the major sources of hydrocarbon is burning of gasoline and industrial processes. So this is how the form of hydrocarbons and its presence in atmosphere and its sources. Now effects on human health. Hydrocarbon effect on human health and materials. So first of all we will discuss about human health. It leads to cancer. Hydrocarbon mainly reacts with body parts when it comes to the contact and goes in respiratory tracts, and it leads to cancer. The next point, irritation of respiratory tract. So hydrocarbon can cause irritation of respiratory tracts. It reacts with oxygen and cause irritation of respiratory tract. Narcotic effects. Next point is Hydrocarbon can cause narcotic effects. And hydrocarbons also affect on lungs and damages it reduces its function and damages its tract. So this is how we can see the effect of hydrocarbons on human health. Now we'll discuss about effects on materials. Hydrocarbon reacts with materials, building materials and clothes and fades its color, and this is how it's discolor the material. Hydrocarbon reacts with materials and make it less elastic and more brittle. Means it's not long lasting and it is more brittle when material reacts with hydrocarbon gases. So this is how we can see the effect of hydrocarbons on materials. So we have discussed it in detail. Now our next point is effect of air pollution on human. So we have included all pollutant effects on human, and in our next point we will discuss about effect of air pollution on materials. So this is the general air pollution effect on humans. In our earlier slides you can see specific air pollutants effect on human. This is general air pollution effect on humans. For our first point, causes asthma and cases of asthma. Around 30 to 40% of cases of asthma and 20 to 30% of all respiratory disease are because of the effect of air pollution. Second point, affects our health in many ways. So air pollution affect on human in many ways with both short-term and long-term effect. It may for short period or it may be for long term. Third point, short-term effects. Short-term effects like irritation to nose, eye, throat, bronchitis, headache, etc. And long-term effects are like lung diseases, chronic respiratory problems, damage of heart, brain, eyes, etc. Our last point, eye irritation in this slide. Eye irritation is due to NOx, O3 means ozone, PAN and particulates. So this is how eye irritation can cause because of the reaction of NOx, O3, PAN and particulates. Our next point, nose and throat irritation caused because of air pollution effect on human. Nose and throat irritation caused due to the reaction of SO2 and NO2 and many more. Next point, gaseous pollutants. Gaseous pollutants like H2SO4 NO2 and hydrocarbon cause many problems. Like odor nuisance. Gaseous pollutants like H2S, SO2, NO2 and hydrocarbon cause odor nuisance, means we cannot feel the odor of or we can say specific odor from the sources. So this is how gaseous pollutant effects on men. Next point, irritation of respiratory tract. It is caused by SOx, NOx, CO and O3. So irritation of respiratory tract caused by oxides of sulphur, oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide and mainly by ozone. Next point, increase in motility. Air pollutants increases in motility. The next point, high concentration and SPM causes bronchitis and asthma. High concentration of SO2, NO2 and SPM causes bronchitis and asthma. Our next point, reaction with hemoglobin and blood capacity. So which react with hemoglobin? Carbon monoxide, mainly carbon monoxide and carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxide or nitric oxide react with hemoglobin and reduce O2 carrying capacity of blood. Our next point, heavy metals like lead can cause poisoning effect and may damage liver and kidney. Heavy metals like lead can cause poisoning effect and high concentration of lead can cause damage to liver and kidney. So these all are the common effects of pollutants on men, or we can say air pollution effects on men. Now, what are the main factors affecting human health? So this is also very important to know. Factor affecting human health. First, nature of pollutants. Nature of pollutant is main thing for affecting humans. Then second point, concentration of pollutants. So concentration of pollutants is also important. Duration of human exposures means time of human exposure. Next point, state of health of receptor means condition of a person, or we can say human receptor is also affecting the human health. Affecting factor is also affecting factor. Age group of receptor is also a very important factor. Age group means which age group it is. If there is children, old person and some weak person by health. So age group of receptor is also a very important factor. So these all are the factors of affecting human health. First, nature of pollutants. Second, concentration of pollutants. Third, duration of human exposure. Number 4, state of health of receptor. And number 5, age group of receptor. Now our next point, effect of air pollution on materials. So how air pollution affects on materials? Our first point is Corrosion of metal. Corrosion of metal occur due to sulfur dioxide in presence of oxygen and moisture is converted into H2SO4 acid. Next point, effect on building materials. Sulfuric acid reacts with limestone, marble and other building materials to cause decoloration and fading of building materials and washing of building materials. So this is how air pollution affects on materials. Next point, soiling and eroding. Soiling and eroding also occur on building materials because of air pollution. Our point 4, effect on coating and paints. So in this we can say mainly SO2, O2, H2S and aerosols damages protective layers like coating and paints of surfaces. And this is how air pollution affect on materials. And our last point is effect on rubber and electrical insulation. O3 and PAN cause cracking of rubber and various electrical insulation, and this is how it cannot last for long. Its time span is shortened due to the effect of air pollution, and this is how the materials can damage. So we have seen the effect of air pollution on material. So this is how we have discussed about. In starting, we have discussed about particular air pollution pollutants and its effect on man and material, and in last we have discussed about general air pollution effects on man and materials. So thank you students. We will continue with this topic, air pollution analysis, in our next session. Thank you so much.